Yo, Patreons, tier 3, what's going on? Now we're going to start talking about some very interesting price action. All right, so you may have received a video just now updating you, the normal morning update, happy days. But now we're going to dive into a little interesting concept right now. All right, here's the Brinks box. Okay, let's just go and have a look at dollar yen for a split second. Notice notable volume at the Brinks box. Okay, now for me, this right now is a valid entry. Okay, it's a valid entry point for me because they're coming in and around from the bottom of the Asian session right here, stopping volume. Now we've got these vector candles in sight. For me, this is where I'll be placing my entry, which I'll be showing you right now. So I'm gonna open up 1.35 lots. Okay, I'm going to place a buy order. Normally I'll be looking to scalp today, but today I'm just going to be doing a longer term play to hit this zone right here. So place my entry right there. All right, now my Bitcoin trade, closed it, set my stop because obviously it was overnight, taken my hit on there. Happy days, I'm out. Okay, now what's the story with dollar yen? Well, look at the Brinks box. The Brinks box has come in. Now look at the structure. It's been dropping for the past 2 days, all right? And I am expecting dollar yen to come up to test the psychological high because the psychological low has been broken. Look at the rise, retrace, continuation to the upside, okay? This big pump in price right here, the stopping volume candles, everything is all stacked to see, higher prices. Will price come back down to here? There is a chance that it may, but not just yet. All right. My stop as such, or the exit point for me, will be if dollar yen actually breaks below the M3 zone. Because if it does break below the M3 zone, I'm anticipating that it will come back down here and then bounce up. If it breaks below the M3, probably tries to take out the low of the Brinks box, then fine, I'm out and we get ready to go in again at another point. Okay, I'm going to make another buy at this point as well. And we're going to wait and see what happens with dollar yen. On the flip side, with the Brinks box from dollar yen, you can see that they're coming out of the Asian session. They're setting up and moving out of the zone now. There is a W formation right here, as you can see it. Look at the RSI. You can see as it comes down, outside the volatility band, back inside, coming up, shows support at the market base, moving out, coming down. Now the RSI is looking to pull back to bounce off the market signal to make another attempt to the upside. Okay, if I drop down to the 1 minute time frame, and I can see, here we go, 1 minute time frame. Yep, coming out of the Brinks box. They're setting it up. They're moving out of the zone. How's this in relation to Bitcoin? Well, let's have a look. Bitcoin right now. Look at the 1 minute time frame from the Brinks. What are they doing? Notable volume coming in. Pump, 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 pump. All right. Now we're just waiting for traction for price to come up and aim for the pivot. All right. Now, slow trend is the true trend. They've been moving and dropping non-stop. Look at this behavior on the 1 minute time frame. They are accumulating. Look at this nice accumulation. Right. The final accumulative point in the chart. All right, and now they're holding this zone. One more attempt to the low in the Brinks box. Stop, hunt low, rise out of the zone. Okay, now looking at the RSI itself, it's quite chaotic to refer to the RSI on the 1 minute time frame and then looking over to the bigger time frames as well. So if you're going to use the RSI in relation to the 15 minute and the 1 hour, drop down to the 15 minute. Okay, you can see prices now coming out of the volatility band. Massive. Now look at the vector candle. Yeah. Now there's nothing wrong, guys, in actually saying to yourself at the close of this candle, you could enter long for the recovery of this candle here. It's coming back up to the 50 EMA. The wilder the price movement, okay, if it drops down fast, it's going to come back up fast. Why? Because it's a manipulative play. They're shaking out all the weak traders. They're trapping the traders to step into the short side and using their liquidity to make their run for profit to the upside. Okay. Now, if Bitcoin does continue to go lower, that's fine, because why? Had you have entered at this point here, you would have been able to capitalize on a move back towards the 50 EMA. All right. Now, where do we see Bitcoin going? Remember, guys, we only have what we see right in front of us. Right now, the Brinks box looks like it's setting up for a continuation to the upside. London is now in full swing, okay? Now, if you look at the RSI itself, it's outside the volatility band. It's probably going to come back down to retest, come break down below the market signal, and then try and stabilize in this zone, and then move back up. It is so oversold and so extended to the downside that they now need to trigger a move back up. All right. Bitcoin has been dropping for a long time. All right. Look at the hour time frame. Last night's W formation didn't play out. All right. So now we're drawing it again. What's the criteria that we always like to see? 3 vector candles to the downside for the first leg of the W formation. What are we expecting from that point? We are expecting now price to come back up. And then from that point on, we see price coming back down to test, to show confirmation that the 50 is the area that they trap the retail trader. Because look, this is where the 50 EMA will end up. It will end up right there. Price will come back up, which will marry in line with the daily open. If it finds rejection at that point, that is a nice setup for us, because they are trapping the retail trader into believing that those who missed out on the move to the downside will get another chance to step in again. They trap those traders, so we will see notable volume at the 50 EMA. They bring price back down, they hold it in this zone, and then they make the shift out of the zone. Okay? Now, today, New York session is going to be very important for us. All right? Because we're operating at the lows. If Bitcoin still continues to drop, all right, it's okay, only until she comes back down to the 30K mark. If she drops down to the 30K mark, then we are provisionally looking at this area here, which is the 28238 zone, which is a scary zone. Why? Because it is where the last low was when they previously spiked and then they came back up. All right. It will then pretty much tell us that they have been accumulating to go lower, but then also it could be an area that they actually trick traders into believing that this is where Bitcoin then continues down to the 20s as such. But they need to break away from the 30 mark before anything else happens like that. There's your vector candle now looking to come back up. All right. Once it recovers this candle, this is where we will see the clue. If they come up above the 13 EMA and they close above it, ideally you want to see the 5 crossing over the 13 as a signal that things are going to change. But the true signal change and validation of the move to the upside is when the 13 EMA crosses over the 50. All right. So pay attention to what happens here. Notice that the 50 EMA is so far away from price. If they keep price in a stagnated zone, okay, the 50 will move closer and closer to price. All right. As long as it doesn't go down, it will just keep coming closer and closer. And then at that point, we will be at a crossroads where the 50 and the 13 will be looking to cross over. All right. That will be our signal on the 1 hour time frame. Drop down to the 15-minute time frame. What do you see? You see price now coming up towards the 13 EMA, which is the 50 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. All right. So we're probably going to see slow trend, true trend activity. Right. The fact that London in its first half an hour hasn't actually done anything, all right, tells me that they do not favor lower prices. But remember, guys, expect the unexpected. Now is the time to start looking for entries. Why? Because we're at the highest volume. The biggest marketplace is open. And then we've got another marketplace opening later on. This is how you improve the chances of your trade working in your favor. All right. Let's just have a flip over to Dollar Yen, see what she's doing right now on that entry. There we go. So we've got a nice little spike to the upside. Our entry looks like it's pretty decent, but we are at the 800 EMA. So could we see a little bit of resistance potentially? But remember, dollar yen has been dropping for a long time. Notable volume coming in and around this zone. Look, notable stopping volume. They are favoring higher prices. I'm waiting for the psychological high to be taken on dollar yen so that once it hits that, the 50 and the 200 will come back down and then move out of the zone. All right. So it's really important that you build this structure in your mind so that you can anticipate what could happen next. Here's an example here. Look at this stopping volume candle. Stopping volume candle here, but price comes down a little lower. And then you've got this flat behavior right here. This behavior right here is so standard for market makers holding the zone. People say it's indecision. Nah, market makers never not know where they're going. All right. So we're going to see what happens. All right. Mad love to you guys, and I'll keep you posted. Give me a second on Ethereum. Say, look at Ethereum. Back to the psychological high. So back to the psychological low. Recovery of the red candlestick is what's going to be happening next. XRP, there you go. Nice aggressive move. See what I mean, guys? When London comes in, London is the best time to trade. Please stick to trading London and the London-New York session. If it's too late for you, what are you doing as a trader? Do not cut yourself short. Do not trade the Asian session. All right, use the Asian session to answer the questions. What do you think Asia is trying to do? Are they trying to set up the range? Yeah? Are they trying to manipulate price in such a way so that it favors high prices, low prices? Use the Asian session as the blinkers, as the binoculars to seeing what they're going to try and do. Because remember, the Asian session will set price up in such a way that it engineers the UK markets to do one or two things. Either continue with that setup or make a run for money. All right? I will keep you guys posted. Mad love to all of you. Peace.